All right, hey guys. So I know I mentioned I was going to finally get around to this video, and it took a little bit because, wintertime in the Pittsburgh area is I'm finally getting some driving done in the car. So I feel comfortable doing a 5,000 mile review now. I got to drive it in all kinds of conditions. Snow so bad I couldn't even see the road, all the way up to some just really wet, rainy days like today. I have been blessed with like a 50 something degree day here in January. So I'm going to take full advantage of this, go and get this video going on the Subaru WRX, the 2023, and kind of give a better review than my 1,000 mile, because I hate to admit it, but if you go back, if you haven't seen the 1,000 mile review, just know that I made that video with a lot of buyer's remorse, and I didn't want to specifically say it at the time. So now it's kind of grown on me. I've never been a WRX person. I've never been a Subaru person. So I came into this with a whole fresh set of eyes, completely unbiased in every way. So let's just kind of jump into this, and let me see if I can show you guys something interesting with the vehicle. All right, let's go. All right, guys, let me at least do an in the cabin cold start for you guys. I do have the door open, so I just wanted you guys to hear what this sounds like from the cabin. I'll be really quiet. I'll take it out of gear, get it all set up for you. I just really want you guys to hear this. One thing I will definitely say is that this is an absolutely beautiful car. I'm a big fan of this exact color on it because, of course, the biggest thing that I've been hearing about them is the black trim that runs all the way around the body. And I've been lucky enough in this area to see a bunch of them. I've seen orange, I've seen red, I've seen the brighter blue, this darker blue, I've seen white, I've seen black. And I gotta say, this color really wears that black trim quite well in comparison to some of the others. Not that anyone wears it poorly, but if you're gonna need a four-door sedan and you're not ready to give up that wild streak of more of like muscle car-esque feel, this isn't a bad pick. It's not. And they're really not afraid to show that they feel this car, despite being a phenomenal winter vehicle, it's not afraid to have fun either. And that's why, I'm sure you guys saw this stack of tires I have sitting here. This is actually the stock tires that came on the car. They're really good tires. They're Dunlops. They held the road so phenomenally. I've had a couple of BMWs, and when I tell you I have taken corners very hard in that BMW, I was taking like 90-degree turns at 50, 60 miles an hour, and it felt like it was on rails. Just like this. This thing's a beast on corners. I've never had an issue with this thing either. And I gotta say, BMWs, specifically the Z4s, those are the ones I'm referencing, those are like 60 plus grand. This thing here, you're not getting out the door for under like 75. So for this BMW, or for this Subaru WRX right here, you can get one of these out the door for under 40,000. And with these summer performance tires on here, I was getting the same cornering confidence that I was out of vehicles 50% to 100% higher than its MSRP tag. That alone is phenomenal, and I cannot believe that that is not a bigger highlight. In my 1,000 mile review, I was doing all the break-in stuff. I kept it under the RPMs I was supposed to, yada, yada, yada. And it pretty much was me making a review without opening the car up and having a lot of fun with it. And I had no business doing a review at that time period, but I did because it was exciting. It was a new car. I wanted to mess with it. So let me show you what I put on there right now for the winter time, because in Pittsburgh, for the winters, you really have no idea what we're going to get. We've had winters where we don't even see snow, and it's nothing but rainy, crappy days like today. And then we've had times where we'll get like a foot or 2 feet of snow. We're never as bad as like Buffalo, New York, or Michigan, or Erie, but we can get hit pretty hard sometimes. And let me show you the tires I have on here now. This past week was real bad. We had so much snow you couldn't even see the roads. But let me show you a couple of things about the winter performance on this. First and foremost, something that people are going to warn you about is the ground clearance. Obviously, you don't want the front of your car to become a plow. So realistically, its only real handicap is what you can fit under the car. And if you can get around that particular thing, then you're going to be pretty okay. And just so that I could see how effective and amazing this symmetrical all-wheel drive system is, I just want to show you this. I bought Kumo tires, and these were probably some of the cheapest tires I could possibly find. I honestly am trying my hardest to remember the exact sub type of tire. It's I can't remember right off the top of my head. I do apologize. However, all 4 tires together plus shipping was less than $500. Like, I kid you not, under $500 for these Kumo all-season tires. And what I did was I went to Tire Rack to find the best price. I pretty much typed in what I was looking for, and I sorted from cheapest to highest. And I took the 10 cheapest tires, printed them all out, and ordered them by winter performance rating or approval rating, something like that. And these tires were the only ones that had an approval rating of at least 80%. So if it was able to get over 4 out of 5 stars and be under $500, I was like, yeah, sure, why not? We'll try it. And they worked phenomenally. I'm not going to say I didn't slip a little bit here and there. I'm not saying that I didn't have like a moment where I was like, well, you know what? Maybe winter tires would have been a little bit better instead of an all-season tire with winter in mind. But if I was able to get this level of performance winter-wise out of this car on those tires, no complaints. Extremely satisfied. Which brings me to my big question for the community and the people who love and worship these cars. The question I have that is on my mind more than anything with these cars is what makes someone buy this car? Some people are die-hard JDM fans, and that is pretty much all they need to make their decision. Some people just love Subaru. That's all they need to make their decision. That's phenomenal. But from an outsider, someone who doesn't have any of that connection with this brand or model, what really drives people to buy this car? And that was a question I've been trying to figure out for a few months without just going straight to forums and sounding like a dummy. And I think I found the answer. I'm sure that if I'm wrong, you guys are going to jump on me in the comments and definitely let me know. But the answer I'm finding is, what else are you going to get? If you want to be out the door under $40,000 with all-wheel drive, and you do not trust a CVT transmission, what are you going to get? A Legacy, Impreza, maybe get one of the manual models of those. Okay, well, congratulations. Now you bought a car that's severely underpowered. So if you're looking at a WRX, you must care about speed and performance in some aspect. These WRXs, I've done my research, the automatic ones are significantly slower than the manuals, assuming you have the skill to push a manual, yada, yada, yada. But it's just so strange. If you don't trust a CVT, what are you going to get? There's nothing out there under $40,000 out the door that's faster. This thing can do 0 to 60 in like the 5.5 to 6.0 range with a manual transmission. You're going to be okay. You'll get there, which, don't get me wrong, I've gotten lit up really, really hard in my other video saying, when I said the phrase, if it does 0 to 60 in more than 3.5 seconds, it's not a fast vehicle. And I do stand by that because I have a car that does it way, way faster. I have a bike that does it way, way, way faster. So to me, yes, I've already been conditioned, and my internal gyroscope, whatever you want to call it, the feel of what is fast to me is 0 to 60 in under 3.5. But guess what you're not going to get? Under $40,000. You're not going to have that experience. It's just not going to happen. So, I mean, unless you get a bike, but chances are if you're looking at a car, you're probably not interested in a bike, obviously. So whether it's because safety concerns, whether it's because of this, that, and the other, I mean, I get it. Bikes are dangerous, yada, yada, yada. This is a bike channel, but I'm talking about this car. If you're not willing to get on a bike, or in my case, you wanted something for wintertime, but you will be seen in a coffin before you drive a truck or an SUV, this is it. This is it. This is the car. If you want a 4-door vehicle under $40,000 and you care about performance more than anything else, don't trust CVTs, this is it. This is your option. There's nothing else out there that's going to beat this. And that's what I think everybody in the comments was trying to help me understand, although in a less than polite way, of the 1000 review video. That's why I bought it. What else are you going to get? There's nothing better out there for this price point that can do what this thing can do. Now, there's something to be said for if you're willing to go a little bit more, if you're willing to do just a little bit, and say you're, instead of a 2023 Subaru WRX, let's say you're willing to consider coupe convertible-esque styles, and you're willing to put out the extra $5,000 or $10,000 to get a Dodge Challenger all-wheel drive, so now you're stuck with the V6. That car is faster than the WRX, and you're going to have a better time with it, but it's heavier, it's a bigger boat, it's got some things fighting against it. If you took them both, if you took a WRX and a Dodge Challenger to a curvy canyon, the WRX is going to beat it all day long. But if you're doing a straight drag or pull on the highway, the Challenger V6 is going to have you. It's unfortunate, but that is what it is. He paid the extra $5,000-$10,000. But that's an interesting point. What if the WRX has something that the Challenger does not? A massive community behind modding these vehicles out. There are so many people that if you had an extra $10,000 to put on top of this, could get 400 plus wheel horsepower out of these machines. Of course, your poor 4-cylinder turbo is not going to hit no 300,000. If you do all of that to it, you're going to severely tear up the lifespan of that vehicle. And if you have a warranty, you're probably going to have a hard time fighting them and proving that whatever went wrong was not due to your modifications. But let's move on from that. This vehicle, with the same amount of money dumped into it as a stock V6 GT Challenger, this thing will beat it again. What else is there to pick? If you're going to go dollar for dollar, go dollar for dollar. The mods you can put on this and get set up, going to beat it out. So I think I finally understand. It's not about what you can have or fun you can do in summertime. It's about what are you going to do on a day like this? What are you going to do when you're shoveling snow out of the driveway to get into the car and to have to brush everything off? What are you going to do then? You're going to have to make the ultimate decision. Are you going to buy a 50, 60 grand BMW, Audi, Jaguar, Mercedes-Benz, one of those German brands to have all-wheel drive system? Or are you willing to pay a lot less than 60 for a WRX that can do all the same stuff and have a wonderful time doing it? It's there. In my opinion, there's no competition. It's just not even close. You're just better off getting a WRX, putting a little extra money into it to tune it up, get it all set up, and enjoy the vehicle for the 5 years you can enjoy it. And then I would dump it. I really would. Because what I have learned about the used market on these WRXs, right? Hear me out. Nobody out here is buying a WRX or a Super Sport to sit there and drive it like a grandmother. We're not doing that. Let's be honest, right? So you know that every single one you see on the used market has probably been ridden hard, which is fine. Go out there. It's your car. Enjoy it. It's your bike. Enjoy it. But you have to understand that when you buy a used one, it's been beat. So this is one of those vehicles that I do have to recommend buying new or buying freshly off of the used market, because there has been a trend I've been seeing with these 2023 WRXs. Same with the 2022s. There's a weird amount of people buying them, putting less than 3,000 miles on them, and then trading them back in. And I don't get it. I don't know why this is an odd occurrence. You can go to Auto Tempest, Car Gurus, Auto Trader, whoever you want to go to, and see this. It's odd. But you know where you're not finding them? Certified pre-owned on a Subaru dealership lot. Is it because they're getting traded in and then instantly sold so quickly? Maybe, but what else are they buying from Subaru then? Wait, a BRZ? No. What? There's something going on with these cars, and I don't know what it is. I tried to look it up, and the best thing I'm finding is talking about how for the oil pan, instead of using a gasket, they use some sort of sealant. And the sealant is sometimes the overflow of it on the inside of the pan is breaking off, getting sucked up into the sump, and then it's causing a oil starvation issue for the engine, causing it to blow up. Okay, cool. That definitely sucks. I can see why people wouldn't like that, but name a brand that's not having some sort of weird issue. I mean, it happens 2-3 times, and then boom, it's written everywhere all over the internet that it's like this common occurrence, when it's really not. It's not. But hey, you know, whatever you got to do. I guess I've been rambling a lot this video. I feel bad about the 1,000 mile review. This vehicle is a phenomenal car. I totally get now why people buy and enjoy it. And if I could go back to May, when the 2023s for the very first time got offloaded off the truck in my area, knowing what I know now, I probably still would have pointed right at this one and said, yep, wrap it up. I'm taking it. It's done. Don't even Don't even do anything else with it. I'd still do the same thing. I'm very happy with the car. Its winter performance is exactly what I needed and wanted for it. And I'll admit, there was one other vehicle I was looking at, but they're really not easy to compare. And I was looking at a 2020 Jaguar F-Type R with the supercharged V8, not detuned edition. It has all-wheel drive, coupe, a two-door convertible, and I think they were asking like $55 for it. And I'm going to be honest, it was really, really hard to not take that. But Subaru made a last-minute decision, said, hey, you know what, we'll do X, Y, and Z if you just come down and get it today. I was like, all right, cool. Whatever, I'll do that. And I'll admit, when I had the 1,000 mile review, I was having buyer's remorse. I definitely wish I'd have went with the Jaguar F-Type over this. But, you know, that's the difference. If you bought a 2020, I'd have got to enjoy it for 3 years, and then I'd have had to dump it all over again. This, I own it. It's done. It's over. It's mine up until I feel like getting rid of it in 6-7 years. I don't have to worry about paying for anything other than car insurance. And I don't drive very often, just in winter. I needed something that would get me through the winters of the Northeast without having to worry about it. And I'll be in a coffin before I drive a truck or an SUV. So this was the best option. And I don't know what you guys look for or what you guys try to shop around for. But this vehicle, I don't think you're going to go wrong with it. I really don't. I think you're going to get it. And if you've never experienced 0 to 60 times in the sub 3.5 second range, there's not going to be any disappointment for you. If the fastest you've ever done 0 to 60 is like 4.5 seconds in somebody's 2010 SS Camaro, then there's nothing. You're not going to be that disappointed when it's an extra second longer in this car. I think you're going to have a good time. I actually endorse this vehicle and feel that it is going to do what you want it to do. I'm hoping to put the dash cam in it and get some driving vids coming up soon, talking about different odds and ends. But I've been a little hesitant to put that 3M double-sided GoPro tape on the dash. I know it'll come off, I know, but it's just something I'd rather not deal with. But I'll figure it out. I'll figure something out. But hey guys, you know, there's a lot of really good things about this car. I would love to go all through the inside, show you little tricks or unique things about the car itself, but you guys, if you watch the 1,000 mile review, I already went over everything, and I have not discovered anything newer. The only thing I found that I didn't know in that particular video is that the turbo, it actually has a turbo gauge on the dash if you switch to it, and it'll let you know how much PSI you're pushing, and it'll let you keep track of your all-time high and over a certain amount of miles. Usually it's in 11 point something pounds, but the highest I ever got that turbo PSI was 12.5. I don't know if there's a cap. I don't know if it's tuned to stop there at absolute max, but that's the highest I ever got it to. And I will talk about a couple of things here that I don't like about the car, because I've done nothing but kiss its butt so far. And that way you guys can kind of decide for yourselves what you feel is best. All right, hold on one sec. I'll jump in the car and show you. It's genuinely hard to show it right now, but I'll give you my best demonstration of it. There is something in here. I don't know quite what it is, but like as I'm in park, you can see I can shift it no problem anywhere I want because my foot's on the clutch, the car's off, it is what it is. But there's something in here. There's something in here that when driving and you're at certain speeds, it will actually like prevent you from going into certain gears, or it's very difficult to pull it down into the gear you want it to go to. I don't know if there's a safety mechanism or what, but there's definitely something in here that when you go from 1 to 2, it's so easy to find 3 because it feels like there's a lock. It's almost like something prevents you from even able to go into 1, which is good. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy about that. But when I'm coming up to a red light and I'm in 6 gear and I jump to 4, now it's fighting me. It doesn't want me to do it. Or when I try to jump down to 2, knowing that it's going to shoot me up to about 3,500, 4,000 RPM, it fights me. And it won't let me do it. I have to apply more brake to get my speed to come down for it to release whatever this block is. I don't know what is in there, but that's the only big inconvenience that I'm not happy with. Everything else has been phenomenal with the car. Everything has been really nice. I love this screen. The screen is phenomenal. I can plug my phone directly in. It instantly turns on my Bluetooth, does Android Auto. Everything is just so user-friendly. I haven't had any of the issues that people have been telling me they've had with this infotainment system shutting off. Everything in here, from the floor mats to the seats, everything's super comfortable. Everything's beautiful. This has the best sound system I have ever heard in my entire life. I am so satisfied with that sound system. It is the best. I'm not going to try to pronounce that because I got shit on pretty hard for my ability to not pronounce whatever that says. But that is the best sound system I've ever heard in my life. I am so satisfied. Even when I turn this up to just... Even when I turn that up to just like 11 or 12, this thing plays excellently. I feel that the sunroof is actually a really good size. I've not had any like, oh man, wish it was bigger, or the slide, yada, yada, yada. It's all worked great. The upgraded lights are actually phenomenal. I'm really happy with that. The back seats, I've never had anyone in the back seats, but it's got plenty of room from when I sit in it and do stuff. The seats fold down. You've got huge trunk space. You could literally treat this as a grocery getter and not have a problem. I'm trying to think of some other stuff here, but everything is just right where and how I would want it to be. Like, it's hard for me to say this, but it's rare that you drive a car and you think to yourself, wow, the engineers and interior designers who put this car together actually drive cars. This is an example of that. There's way too many cars I've been in or driven or spent time in working at a dealership that I'm like, whoever designed this obviously drives an SUV with no interior nonsense. Their husband definitely pays the bills, and they don't know what they're just designing stuff to be pretty. They have no understanding of how inconvenient this layout is. Usually it's Jeep, funny enough, that I think that with, but I'm not about to start any nonsense. You know what, just pretend I didn't even say that, because I don't really want to hear anything about it. The headlights in this car are phenomenal. It has that weird system where the high beams come on and off automatically at their own assigned time, or when it can read that there's a car in front of you or not. But wow, is it phenomenal. It is an absolute gem how bright the lights are. And the one thing I thought was kind of interesting, I guess, I don't know why, but it does have cruise control. Despite being a manual, it has cruise control, which when I did drive 2.5 hours up to Erie from Pittsburgh, it was really nice. I enjoyed having it. So I honestly don't have a complaint. If you don't like it, don't use it. If it's as easy as that. This is a wonderful car. The rear view mirror is phenomenal size. Everything on it is good. And while I'm doing this video, I'm letting it download an update. There's a software update, which painfully the car has to be started and it has to be within the distance of your Wi-Fi router, which is kind of a pain. Why can it not just, like, if I have access to all of this stuff, why can this not just do it while I'm driving through satellite? And if you ever have a big water bottle, this actually, funny enough, it just pulls right out. Then you got a nice little big thing there. That's actually really nice. They actually, that's another thing I'm talking about. Where the people who designed this car obviously drive cars. Somebody out there has a real big coffee cup and they said, this is some bullshit, and decided this should be removable. Like, thank you. Thank you. There's just so much good stuff that I cannot speak well enough about this car. For the price point, for what you're getting, what they've done to the car, everything is exactly where and how it should be. I'm not saying that if you currently drive an Audi, a BMW, a Jaguar, that you should go out and sell your car today for a WRX. I'm not saying that because I know you're not going to be satisfied. You've already become accustomed to a significantly higher quality vehicle at that higher price point. But this, for someone who's been stuck with Toyota Corollas or Elantra, FedEx guy, if you've been stuck with just vehicles that at the end of the day don't even match the Subaru WRX quality, then this is going to feel like an absolute spaceship and you're going to have a phenomenal time. You're going to have everything you ever wanted and more, and the more you drive it, the more you're going to fall in love with it. You're going to have a great time, is what I'm trying to say. If you know for a fact you cannot, due to your monthly payment, money down, trade in, whatever it is, you cannot be out the door more than 40 grand, this is the car. There's nothing else out there that's this awesome. I'll even show you my average fuel economy here. There it is right there. You can see that on average, I've been getting about 22.8 miles to the gallon. And I've been driving this thing pretty rough. I'm sure I could get a lot better if I wanted, but I'm not that worried about it. I'm gonna be honest. It's a wonderful vehicle. There's the gauge I was talking about. And you can see right now my peak is 12. The highest I've ever had was 12.5. But this is just... What does this not have that I wished it would? And my only answer is I wish it was a lot faster. But I don't want to spend the extra 5-10 grand to put into the car to make it that 400 wheel horsepower, because at that point I'm gonna be 50 grand deep. I should have just went and bought that Jaguar F-Type 2020. But nobody wants to hear that, because you're comparing a used car to a new car, and that's fine. You know, if you want to eat that major depreciation of buying this car for $39,000 and some change out the door, knowing the second you drive it off the lot it drops 12 grand in value practically, that's fine. Go ahead, eat that bullet. But there's nothing you can do about it, unfortunately. So do what you got to do what you want to do. If you're considering a 2022 2023 WRX and you've not yet experienced 0 to 60 times at Mock Jesus, you're gonna love this car from day one to the day you get rid of it. Just please, 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 please. There's a reason insurance premiums on this particular car are so high, and it's because it is the most ticketed vehicle out there. And it's because, unfortunately, no offense to anybody who may be watching, chances are you are under 30. And chances are you want to buy this car. And chances are you're buying it because you want to go fast. And chances are you're going to get pulled over for speeding. That's fine. You know, whatever. Go enjoy your vehicle. Just know that there's a reason the insurance premium on these are so high. And there's a reason why a lot of these cars end up wrecked, totaled, destroyed, rebuilt title. There's a lot of reason these cars don't end up lasting a super long time. But if you go to a car show, you'll always see an old WRX. They're out there. I'm not saying they're not. But weirdly enough, they always seem to be owned by much older people. That's all I'm saying. So just enjoy this vehicle. Have fun. I'll see you guys next time. I'm hoping to do a review on 3 more things in the near future, and they're all going to be a lot better than this because I genuinely only had an hour, and as you can see, this video is probably going to be about 40 minutes. I legit just hurried up, ran into the garage, hit play on the camera, and then just decided I'm going to go off the wing here. I didn't come up with a script. I didn't have bullet points. I was probably all over the place, but I just feel like I haven't put together a genuine video in so long. I wanted to get something out, and I'm not happy with the quality that this is because I like having bullet points and different things to go over. But yeah, guys, this, if you have any questions, comments, anything, I always reply to every single person. So if you ask a question, I will give you an answer. Just, it goes straight to my phone. I get the notification. I'll be there, okay? It might be a couple hours or so, but I'll get to you. So either way, guys, I wish you luck. Enjoy your WRX, or if you're in the process of considering one, just make sure you heavily compare it to your current vehicle, whether it's spec sheet, comfort, whatever you want. I mean, I'm almost 6'2", and I've got plenty of space between my head and the roof. These seats, I'm a heavier set guy. I'm probably pushing about 235, and I'm very comfy in here. I don't have any fear of my knee hitting any dash or any inconvenience with any of the pedals. You're in good hands with Subaru. Just do your homework. Make sure you know exactly what to expect and what you're getting into for the price point. And just keep in mind that Kumo makes a heck of a good winter tire for it being all season. Otherwise, wish you guys a wonderful night. Enjoy yourselves. If you need anything, hit me up in the comments.